I'm in the all-new 2023 Honda CR-V Sport Touring Hybrid. This sits at the top of the stack for Honda's redesigned CR-V. But first things first, when we're talking about hybrids, let's go and check out what's under the hood here of the new CR-V. It's going to be a lot of a carryover, but it has been upgraded. So we have the 2-liter hybrid system here with 204 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque. They've upgraded the electric motor in here to give us better torque and better horsepower than ever before. When I'm driving it in the city, it's not hard for me to get over 40 miles per gallon, but on the highway is where Honda's hybrids aren't quite as efficient as, let's say, Toyota's. Now, the Sport Touring is only available in the all-wheel drive. If you want front-wheel drive with the hybrid, you're going to have to spring for the much more affordable Sport model. Now, Honda still offers the 1.5-liter turbo mated to a CVT. Those are not available on the Sport trims, and you can get all-wheel drive on those as well. But I totally recommend not going for the non-hybrid system. That CVT isn't very satisfying. It's not nearly as quick as this, and it's not as frugal with fuel economy. The new CR-V, I think, is amazing looking on the outside. The Sport Touring that we have here gives us some upgrades on the outside compared to, let's say, the Sport. And at the bottom, we have these aluminum crested inlets that I think actually look better on the Sport model that cost less because they are accented in black. We also have parking sensors on the Sport Touring model. The grille has this kind of zigzag design with the engine kicking on, glossy black polish to it, fully LED daytime running lights as well as headlights. Stay tuned for my nighttime review of this vehicle so you can see what the lights are like on the outside and the inside at nighttime. Now, the only way you can get the 19-inch glossy black wheels is on the Sport Touring. The base Sport will get you 18-inch matte black wheels that I think also look great. We have glossy black side mirrors as well as roof rails. It would have been nice if we had glossy black window surrounds on this model. Unfortunately, we still have chrome here. I don't think it looks bad. I think it just gotta look a little bit more menacing. As we come around the back, very iconic to the CR-V is the D-pillar taillights. Those are fully LED. However, these incandescent turn signals in there haven't made the modern jump. I like the homage to the original all-wheel drive CR-Vs with the first generation with that little sticker back there. May seem cheap, but I like the nostalgia that they built into it. Very small Honda badge compared to the Honda badge up front. We also have the Sport badge here that is blacked out, Touring underneath of it. And on this side, CR-V in that kind of chrome polish finish with that hybrid logo. You can also see parking sensors back here to match the ones in the front on this particular model. Dual exhaust with a nice little diffuser at the bottom. We also have a hook down here if you wanted to pull something with it. Okay, we also have a kick sensor that's only available on this model. You can't get it on the Sport Hybrid, for example. And we have 39 cubic feet of space back here. You can fold these seats down and get just an immense amount of cargo space. We have a 12 volt here if you want to run some accessories. And underneath, we have, I think it's a 1.4 kilowatt hour battery. I'll fact check myself if it's a different size, but it is a lithium ion and there's no spare tire on this model. Now you can kick to close. You can also use that button up there if you want. But let's go ahead and get in the back seat. See what kind of amenities we have back here. Very basic door here, no sunshades or anything, unfortunately, on this top spec. Glossy black with a little bit of a textured pattern here. No heated rear seats on this model either. The armrests are nice and soft. So we get into these nice leather seats with the orange stitching. I have a lot of leg room. The seat is set up for me at 6'1". No mat pocket on this side. I do have a mat pocket on this side. I do have vents back here, 2 USB-C charging ports, and no panel roof to look at, but I do have a standard roof up there. You can fold this down for a couple cup holders, and it is pretty cozy overall. If I close the door, I do feel like I have tons of shoulder room, leg room, and the best thing about the back seat maybe is that you can recline the seat very far back. You kind of have to reach over yourself. It's not the most convenient, but it does have lots of different levels. I wish there was a lever over here on the side where I could just pull that lever and operate the reclining seat that way, because it just once you pull this lever, it wants to pull you all the way back. So it is kind of hard to operate when somebody is sitting in it. But let's go ahead and get in the front seat. And these doors sound excellent when you close them. Sounds very, very premium, feels premium as well. The door handles, oh, by the way, this one is smart access. This one is not. I wish this one was smart access, especially with having kids. All right, so getting into the cockpit here, listen to that door. Very solid. We're greeted with the Bose sound system. Yes, you have the upgraded Bose sound system in here. We are greeted with some similar experience in here compared to, let's say, what debuted on the Civic. It's now on the HRV. It'll be in the new Accord as well. We have this honeycomb pattern and the design across the front dash. We also have these very satisfying clicky and accurate vent controls. This has the 9-inch touchscreen, which is upgraded for this model, which gets rid of the tuning knob and some physical buttons. Instead, we get some scan buttons here, which are nice for finding your Sirius XM channels. You also have a volume knob, and it does have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, which you cannot get on that base Sport model, for example. And if we look down here, we have that wireless charger that accompanies this standard. And I'm going to turn on the climate control here because I am quite warm now that the sun is coming up here in South Florida. Heated seats, no ventilated seats on this top spec. I do have a heated steering wheel, and I like the orange stitching around this leather clad steering wheel. Behind the steering wheel is a smaller MID. It's not fully digital. We have an analog speedometer on the right and a digital MID on the left that you can change your information on if you want. I'm getting over 40 miles per gallon. I didn't mean to trigger that, but I can trigger the Google Assistant by using this button on the steering wheel. I'm very comfy in here. I also have memory seats for the driver, which is nice if you and your significant other are totally different sizes. We have a traditional shifter in here with nice stitching. We don't have any push button nonsense going on. We also have downhill scent control, which I don't know about you guys, there are no hills around where I live. We also have different drive modes: sport, normal, econ, snow. Not going to be getting any snow down here anytime soon, I don't think. A couple chargers here that I didn't mention, as well as a 12 volt. Like I mentioned earlier, we have this standard sunroof that does open up all the way. No head-up display in this model, not even an option. No 360 camera either. You see on the edge of the mirror, we do have blind spot monitor, but you can also get that standard on the base Sport model. So let's go ahead and buckle up. We're actually doing a little bit of off-roading, and there's also a new drive button here. Well, it's called B for battery. It kind of acts as one pedal driving. You can see the regen changes with the paddles, and it stays there. So unlike if you have it in drive and use the paddles, it will regen differently, but when you come to a stop or you just keep driving, it kind of resets and regen goes away. This battery mode, the regen stays on the whole time. I actually don't like driving it in regen mode because it isn't one pedal driving. It slows you down to like under 5 miles an hour, and just going over this, it's dead quiet. Going over some off-roading, you know, sand and dirt and a little bit of rocks there. Super, super quiet in the new CR-V. It's very, very impressive. And there's a beautiful Lexus LX 600. It's the first one I've seen down here in Naples. Sorry I had to cut there because it was a lot of weaving in and out of people and landscaping and construction vehicles to get out of that area. I'm in fully electric mode. You can rarely tell when the engine turns on by itself. It is very quiet, and once you're up to speed, you rarely ever hear or feel the engine. When the engine kicks on in this hybrid, it doesn't shudder the vehicle in any way. The big reason, well, there's two reasons. The engine's tiny, it's only 2 liter, but also it is not connected to the wheels unless it's driving on the highway at higher speeds. So the engine, when it turns on at low speeds in the city, it's only working as a range extender, or you could say a serial hybrid. It is not driving the wheels. The large electric motor with the 204 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque is the vehicle's primary mover at low city speeds. And the brakes here, the brakes in this feel fantastic, very accurate, very nice, progressive, solid pedal to it as well. Up to 45 miles an hour, very easy, very smooth. You do hear the engine just a tad as it tries to drive as much power as it needs to supply the energy for that electric motor. Now, you can always see what the vehicle's doing with this energy monitor here. Now, it also shows the power going to the rear wheels. This is an all-wheel drive model, like I mentioned earlier. Let's get into the gas pedal a little bit. Engine kicks on immediately. The engine actually does fake shifts there, and it doesn't sound bad. Super smooth. The shifts, even though they're simulated, are pretty slow, but all it's doing is the engine's firing on to provide the power for the electric motor, like I said, at these low city speeds. But once you're up to speed, it's very, very smooth, very quiet. The steering on this is excellent, very eager to turn in. Even the non-hybrid steering on the CR-V is much more like driver focused and more satisfying, let's say, than the Rav4's steering. And just the ride quality in here is fantastic. It feels near luxury quality in a lot of ways. Okay, so let's get back to the value proposition. I don't think the 1.5 liter turbo models are a good value because this powertrain in the hybrid is so much better. It's more responsive and it has better acceleration. So I would be skipping any CR-V that doesn't have the hybrid logo on it, and that's okay because Honda's planning to sell 50% of all of these hybrid, or all of the new CR-Vs as a hybrid. So there'll be plenty of hybrids to go around. But the sport model loses a lot of things. You get cloth seats, you still get heated seats though. You still get a sunroof, you lose your parking sensors, you still get chargers in the back on that base sport model as well. You lose your memory seats, you lose your wireless charger, you go down to a smaller screen, but it still has wired Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto. You also lose the Bose sound system. There's probably a couple other things that you would be missing, but honestly, I could easily forgo all of that, spend about $6,000 less and get the sport hybrid CR-V, which gives you the same performance, and you can save an additional $1,500 and get the front wheel drive model, which will give you better fuel economy because you don't have the extra weight of the drive shaft and the rear differential, for example. Let's go around the turn. Feels great for such a large SUV. From the exterior, the new CR-V looks so much bigger than the outgoing model. Just super smooth. Helps that the streets here are excellent, but even with these large 19-inch wheels, the new CR-V feels like a cloud. But the base sport CR-V hybrid, like I said, save a bunch of money. You can get it in front wheel drive if you don't need the all-wheel drive, and you get better fuel economy, and you're not giving up that much in terms of technology and features. And it is a great value against the SE Rav4 Hybrid. It goes like toe-to-toe, punch for punch in terms of performance, as well as amenities offered in both of those vehicles. When you get to spend over $40,000 in this sport touring top of the trim, it can't keep up with the Rav4 Hybrid in terms of overall features available. Yes, the Rav4 will cost you a little bit more, maybe about $1,500 to $2,000 more, but you get a digital rearview mirror, you get a 360 camera, you get a larger screen here, 12-inch screen here, then you also get a fully digital 12-inch screen behind the steering wheel, and the list goes on. So even though this vehicle is amazing with its looks, interior comfort, and ergonomics, I would still pick a Rav4 Hybrid when you're spending over $40,000. But if you want to save a ton of money on the base sport, I think it's a coin flip between this CR-V Hybrid Sport and also the SE Rav4. They cost about the same, they offer about the same sort of features for the money, and to be honest, it's whatever you can get a better deal on that Sport CR-V versus the Rav4 Hybrid SE model. Going about 55 here, very quiet, a little bit of road noise, and I think it would probably be a little bit more insulated from the road noise with the smaller wheels in the rest of the lineup. For example, the 18-inch wheels that you have on the base Sport or the 17-inch wheels on the turbo models. Now the safety features in here are quite excellent. This has the newest Honda sensing, so lane keep is excellent, as well as radar cruise control, some of the best in the industry. So right now I have it in radar cruise control with the lane steering assist on. I'm not touching the pedals at all. It's doing a great job keeping up with this Audi in front of me. Of course, I can adjust the distance with this button on how I want to pace behind the car in front of me. And the car slows down very naturally here as we come up on some more condensed traffic here. So what do you think about the Sport Touring CR-V Hybrid? Do you think it's a good deal for over $40,000 for the features that it gives you? Or should I say, in some ways, the lack of features that the competition offers around this price point? And definitely stay tuned for my CR-V nighttime driving impressions, where I'll give you guys a tour of the exterior lights as well as the interior lights that we have on this particular model. But I'm going to, guys, catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far into the video, hit the like button, subscribe for more Honda updates. I will be driving the new, well, two new Hondas. I'll be driving the Civic Type R in LA and around San Diego, as that vehicle will take me down to Encinitas, where I drive the all-new 2023 Honda Accord Hybrid, as well as the non-hybrid, which is the same power, exact same powertrains we have in the CR-V. So I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Thank you guys for watching, like I said before, and have a great day. Peace. Don't turn in the middle of an intersection, Sienna.